Yo, what's going on? My name is LJ Jones, and this is Maybe One Day. And today, I got an amazing guest, my guy, Loso.
What's good, bro?
What's
Salute.
up, man? Man, I ain't seen you in a minute.
Yeah, that's because I'm always on the road now. Yeah,
You're always on the go. But you know what? The people might not know this, but we go way back.
yeah,
We've done shows together. We've done music together.
yeah.
We went to college together.
Yeah.
But you know, I met you when I was in high school still. Probably like
Wow.
10th grade, maybe junior year.
Really?
Yeah.
That's news to me.
Well, because you were in college before me.
Okay.
And I remember going down to the college. You remember that the common area that while we were there together, they had pool tables and foosball. But that used to be like they had like a bar set up there.
Oh yeah, yeah,
not,
yeah.
not a bar. but-
Epiphany.
yeah,
It was
yeah.
called Epiphany. Yeah, yeah.
So I would go down there because I was friends with Joel. So
Okay.
when he would work Epiphany, he would invite me out. I'd go hang out,
Yeah.
and you were there.
Yeah.
And so I think that's the first time I met you.
Dope.
And then we continued to build. I remember we were at I want to say it was like the Man Up conference.
Yeah.
I was there by myself, but you were there with Adam, and then we connected there and just
Okay.
kind of grew as time went on.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So it's probably going on like 15 years, which is crazy to me.
I think it's always dope to, even as time like progresses and we all kind of like do our own thing, we always could like pick up right where we left off. So
Yeah,
I
and
think that's always dope.
that's kind of.
I feel like I think that's a dope, but I also think that's a male trait.
sure.
Like,
Yeah.
I feel like females it's difficult for them to do that, but for, like, it's just a man thing where it's like, as long as we're cool, we don't need to talk every day
Yeah.
to pick up right where we left off. So
Yeah, I was just in my guy Casey's wedding, right? And he's my kid's godfather. I've known him since 6th or 7th grade, and we talk often enough. But he was, trying to pay for his wedding, so he was working nonstop, and I didn't see him for like a year. And then, kind of going into the wedding, we're doing the pre-wedding stuff, the rehearsal dinners and all that, and it was just kind of like boom, no time to spend.
yeah,
And that's just kind of how it goes, and I think that's great.
yeah, dope.
But you know what? I think everybody knows who you are. But for the people that don't,
Yeah.
who is Loso?
Yeah, man, I'm a national recording artist, battle rapper. That's primarily how I'm known or even looked at across the country. If anybody stops me, I mean, 99.9% of the time, it's because of battle rap. They've watched me somewhere, they've seen me live. It's reached over, obviously, we're talking like out of the country and stuff like that. But also, I'm also a teacher, you know what I'm saying? I wear a couple different hats. I try to make sure I got my hands in a couple things. I did some acting, last year. And so, I like to make sure that, when they go on my profile or they look up stuff on the internet, they see me doing a bunch of different things, because that's just who I am.
Yeah.
As a creative, I just can't sit in one field
Right.
all the time. You know what I'm saying? I want to make sure I do a lot of different things really, really good. I'm also a poet. I travel with the Poets in the Autumn team, and so which I'll be doing one this week. You know what I'm saying? We're heading to college this week, and so just a bunch of different things, but primarily battle rap is the main focus.
I want to go with what you just said as a creative. You made a post yesterday. I can't remember verbatim what it was that you said, but you said as soon as the mic cuts on, you're like your soul just
Yeah.
kind of settles.
Yeah,
And this is gonna sound crazy.
yeah,
I don't know if anybody out there is a DCOM guy like me,
Yeah.
but I remember growing up watching Full Court Miracle,
Yeah.
and your post made me think of something that was said in that movie. Full Court Miracle is a basketball movie, right? I don't know if you
Yeah.
ever saw it, but he had said anytime a basketball is in his hands, everything else disappears. Everybody in the stands is gone.
yeah,
All the other, all his opponents is
Yeah.
gone. It's just he's calm, he's happy, he's in his
Yeah.
space, and that's what your post made me think of.
yeah. I mean, I think it's therapeutic for any artist to. It's almost for a creative, bro. It's almost the vomiting of the soul.
Yeah.
That's how I kind of look at it. So you are throwing up a bunch of bad ideas that you have creatively, right? But that's how you get to the good ideas. And that's why I tell somebody that I don't believe in writer's block. I just think that it's, I mean, you're just being lazy at that point.
Yeah.
I think what it is, what writer's block is, hey, just sit down and write down all of the bad ideas that you have.
Yeah.
And I guarantee you that the good ideas will start, flowing out. And so for me, that's that line is just kind of like where I'm at. I just feel like I'm able to kind of silence all the noise for those 30 minutes or 45 minutes, however much time I kind of give myself to kind of like spark creativity, because it doesn't come all the time. I tell people all the time, like, you know, people's like, man, how much time do you spend creating? I'm like, well, you know, it could be 5 minutes, right, or it could be 2 hours, and I could probably get more done in 5 minutes than I did 2 hours, because there's nights where, you know, things just don't flourish out. But I do think at those moments though, there is a tranquility that I only find in knowing, like, yo, it's just me and my art right here, no judgment, no, this is just the beginning work of what hopefully people would then, you know, go ahead and enjoy later on. So yeah, I find a second to none.
That was something you taught me when I was young and I just started rapping. You're like, it doesn't matter if it's bad, write every day. Yeah, right. Like you just said, writer's block isn't a thing. Write every day, get the bad ideas out.
Yeah. And
the more you write, if I'm spending 15, 30 minutes, an hour, whatever the case may be, you know, if I continue writing every day, the quote unquote writer's block will start to come less and less.
Yeah.
And that was something that I've really carried on. Like, you know, I'm 27 years old now. I'm still making music. And it doesn't matter if it's shitty. I'm writing every single day.
Yeah.
But you know what? The battle side of you, I knew you before you were battling.
Yeah.
And we all told you to battle.
Yeah.
We all told you to battle. Like, just the music that you made, it was great.
Yeah.
But the punches that you had, we knew it would just, it would hit. In any league.
Yeah. I always gravitated towards that type of style of rapping though. Like, I just remember at a young age when I was listening to hip hop, although I loved songs, I mean, there was just something different about like Fabulous and Cassidy that just stuck out to me. You know, those were the guys that, you know, I was listening to all the time, especially Fabulous. Yeah. He was a punchline guy, but he was also making music. He was making songs as well. But when I was like 17, I want to say 16, 17 years old, was the first time I heard an a cappella battle. And a guy just put it in literally had a CD from New York. He literally just grabbed it, was a Smack DVD, and it was Murder Mook versus Jay Mills. And it was the first time I had heard anything of like these guys like going back and forth. And I was like, man, there's no music. There's nothing to distract me from what they're saying right now. And I'm listening to every lyric. I'm able to comprehend. And this is the first time where I'm like understanding punchlines and the wittiness and attacking and using angles and stuff. And I was just intrigued, bro. I just ran to it. I remember that night after I came home from school, I went to my mom's computer and I probably watched every battle I could that night. But there was this, to me, even to this day, I think battle rap is the purest form of hip hop. Like, you get all of the literary devices, right, as far as like personification, punchlines, metaphors, similes, all these things that you learn. But then on top of that, you get the competitiveness that is at its core. It is hip hop. Yeah. That's hip hop kind of carries that type of aura with it. And so that's why like movies like 8 Mile, it stands out more than a movie about, you know, a rapper that's just trying to make it or something like that, you know. And so I think that when that the masses kind of just gravitate towards this, like, oh snap, these guys are going at it and who is the better MC. And that's why every rapper that you can find, unreleased footage of them just battling, whether it's Jay-Z, whether it's DMX, whether it's even to this day, you'll find like Tory Lanez or even, Black or whoever it is.
Even
like
a classic one like Biggie.
Yeah.
On Fulton Street. Everybody has seen that.
You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, you'll see these guys because that is the purest form. I mean, Freeway and Cassidy, right? Like, you're gonna see these guys, Meek Mill, like all of them, they were doing it at one point, and they all watched Smack DVD and stuff. So
I remember a conversation we had in the past where you had said back in high school you would like participate in text battles.
Yeah.
Now, was that pre Smack DVD?
Yeah. That was also 106 in Park for me though.
Right.
So
Salute to Jen. Like
yeah. So a part of it was me already kind of, and that was also like Rap City with Big Tigger, like they kind of already had that. I was intrigued to those things more so than albums. And so when I was listening to those things, it just kind of just flowed out of me when I was just messing around with lyrics here and there, when I was just trying to try to type something up, that is what kind of like fleshed out in my writing. And then, you know, when guys would kind of like, you know, trash talk here and there, we're just like, all right, cool, let's go in and say something back and forth. So
You ever pull any of those bars out from the high school days?
man, I can't find that forever. I gotta find a Nokia phone somewhere that's hidden around in my grandmother's house.
It's there somewhere. You got to find it. And I could just imagine you going on live just reading through these old ones. I remember there was this dude at my school. His name was Richie. And there was a girl that we were both interested in. And she was interested in both of us. The red flag. But she was like, y'all two should battle rap. And whoever wins me.
Don't tell me y'all listen to her.
We battled with the hit 'em up beat.
Yeah.
And I found the lyrics like a year ago just in a box somewhere, and it was the cringiest, most dog. I was in 8th grade. You know what I mean? Like, it was terrible.
Plot twist: she was the only one that won that battle, bro.
She really was. I hope there's no footage of it anywhere.
Yeah.
But one of the things about you that I think, if anybody's ever seen any of your battles, your faith is in the forefront. And something that I've always wondered, because I've been a battle rap fan since I was a kid, right? Like, I remember I discovered battle rap when I met Phenom.
Okay.
So Phenom and I are around the same age. I think he's a year older than me. But I had met him somewhere, and he was telling, because he was battling in leagues when he was 14.
Yeah.
And so he would send me some battles, and then, you know, I found him. There was dudes like Saucy Bossy, like, if you remember him.
Yeah.
Like, there was a good group of guys like back in the day here in Tampa. So I know that in battle rap, there's a lot of different rappers, you know, from different backgrounds that have different faiths, right? And those, if it's not a Christian faith, their faith, like if it's Muslim or Hebrew Israelite, whatever the case may be, it don't get brought up.
Yeah.
But with you, it's almost nothing but Christian bars. Why do you think that is? Why is your faith attacked in the battles?
I think that,
but the Muslims not.
Yeah, but I think that's with all aspects of life, though.
Sure.
I mean, you know, the Christian faith is the only faith that gets placed as a genre in music. You know what I'm saying? Like, they don't use that as like, you don't listen to a Christian rapper and just automatically put them into, you know, hip hop. Unfortunately, there's a Christian rap section.
Yep.
And there's Christian contemporary music, you know what I'm saying? But every other faith, they can make music and you just automatically place them in their genre. But it's something innate in us that lets us know, and, you know, you take it for what it is, but there's something intrinsic in us that says, this is something different. This is something that's set apart, literally. You know what I'm saying? So it gets set apart indirectly, even if you are one of those that are just saying like, I just think it's fake. I think it's a lie anyway. But the way that you're going to categorize it, it's based that it's the only genre of music that gets categorized based off content and not its musicality. So because I'm listening to the lyrics and I'm hearing what they're saying, now I got to put it in this category rather than, oh snap, okay, this is reggaeton. Oh, this is hip hop. This is you know, country, whatever it is. You don't put it in with the style of music. You put it in because of the content. And so when it comes to battle rap, I'm not shocked with that. I just think that there is obviously my worldview is that everyone is has this message that's kind of just written on their hearts and it tugs at us. And so when you hear that, your natural thing is your natural reaction is to be like, oh, this guy is thinking he's better than me and he's this, that, and that's not the case. No one came in there I never came in there promoting myself as this type of rapper. It was just, hey, this is my worldview, and of course when I communicate certain thoughts, I'm not just going to throw away these principles just for the sake of a battle. Right. And so where others might do that, and that's why I think that's like, also there's not another person who kind of like communicates in that way for their faith. There is a battler right now that I do think that not necessarily for a moral aspect, but just because of his image, like he wears like a turban and he does stuff like that, so he does get attacked somewhat, but people don't really understand his religion. And also, let's just be honest, like Christianity is a popular one, so it's easy, you know what I'm saying? Like, you don't have to step foot in the church to know anything, to know about, the Garden of, the Garden of Eden, or the serpent, or God, or Moses, or Noah. Like, it's easy. You're going to automatically make punchlines. Even the atheistic rapper, he's going to be able to go ahead and make punchlines about it.
Does that make it lazy, though? Is it lazy of the other artists to take those angles because it's easy?
I don't, I think it's low hanging fruit, but I do think that it's always going to be a creative way to do it. Just make it, just make it creative. That's why I've never been, they all using the same angle. I'm just like, nah, if you're gonna do it, just do it well.
Yeah. But one thing about you though, you're active on social media, but you're also private. So it's hard to find any information on you. Whereas some dudes are constantly on live or whatever the case may be. Is that purposeful?
Yeah, I try to treat social media like a burning building. I run in, I check to see who needs help, and I come running out before it starts crashing down. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's just how I kind of like view it. I don't want to spend too much time, and especially not now. Early on, when I first started battling, I was in a lot of Facebook groups, and I was in a lot of Twitter back and forths. But right now, I just don't. That's the climate of battle rap has kind of changed anyway in 2024, but I just think that the more that I stay there, the less effective I'm able to be now.
Right.
So the less time that I spend there, whenever I do pop up, it's kind of more meaningful. And so, but yeah, I also try to make sure that what I showcase is the only thing I want to showcase anyway. And it's really just my art. You know what I'm saying? It's Loso. My close friends, they know me. They know, that's who I communicate with. And so for the world, they get who is, what they're investing into and what I'm investing into them, which is my artistry.
Right. I think it's really interesting. I'm trying not, I got to go there. I didn't want to, but I have to, because you had mentioned like the Facebook groups. What just happened a couple of weeks ago in the local battle rap. I don't know what they were trying to do, but I know they thought they fucked you up with it. And it was corny. All of it was corny. Do you want to talk on that at all?
I mean, nah, but that's the thing though. Like, every so often, people are gonna want to have a conversation on like, and this is with everything. You know what I'm saying? Like, who's the best? Yeah. And so, I would never entertain it, but I was asked to by a friend of mine, and so I did. And so because I was in the conversation, because I had time, I was going back and forth with some people, and they wanted to and here's the thing, bro, so if I go anywhere, I mean, I'm talking about, you could choose any state, you could drop me off in the middle of Times Square, bro, and put me next to any of these guys around the city, right? And nobody will know them. And that's not me trying to diss. I'm just being straightforward of the work that I've put in for the last 8 to 9 years. Right. And on top of that, though, I get praised all around. I'm talking about from the top of the top. Every year they do a list, bro. They've probably done maybe 6 of those lists. I made that list 4 times. You know what I'm saying? Never ranked lower than 12 out of 20,000 battlers. You know what I'm saying? So like, we're talking about, if we compare to like the NBA, it's like, yo, this dude has made an all NBA team 4 out of his 6 years. You know what I'm saying? And so, where these guys have never even scratched, any radar over there. But the conversation was like, who's the king of Tampa? And so for me, I was just like, come on, guys. Like, I'm a entertain y'all, but at the end of the day, I mean, I've done things that unfortunately you have not, and nor do I think that you're going to do it anytime soon. Right. And so, but it's a bunch of them because they're here, right? They're here. So because they're here, they look at like, oh, Los, you think you're better than us, and you haven't done this for us, and you're not spending time with us. And I'm like, no, I have, and I do a lot of things in the community. I do a lot of things for a lot of different artists and show a lot of love to a lot of different battlers. But I'm not gonna go ahead and showcase energy to you or invest my time and energy into you when I know that, 1, it's only for your own selfish gain, and then 2, it's never been reciprocated in my career. Sure. And when I say never, I'm talking about never. I can't ever recall a time in which I'm out of town and somebody has came to support out of the battlers and said, yo, Loso, appreciate you for putting on for Tampa. Because like I told him, I said, the thing about it though is like, when y'all start having this conversation, it looks foolish to the rest of the world. It looks foolish to the Loaded Luxes and the Murder Mooks and the Hitman Hollers and the Suser. I'm talking about dudes who are like Mount Rushmore, Tay Rocks and stuff. You ask them about Florida and Tampa, there's only one name that comes up to them, and it's Loso.
Yeah.
And so that's what it was. It was going back and forth. But because I'm in the group, you know, and that's who they are, nobody else is in the group, it's just me. Of course, they're all going to be like, you know, and it's going to look like they're quote unquote winning. But at the end of the day, it's like, all right, guys, you know, wipe the Cheetos off your fingers and wipe your keyboard.
Yeah.
I have a flight to catch. You know what I'm saying?
You got a battle to go do.
Yeah. So
I was reading through those comments. I was like, what are we doing? Like, just some of the arguments. I remember, you know, who's the king of Tampa? Somebody put Tom G. It's like, that's a different conversation. That's not what this is anyway. Yeah. But Jonah and I were going through and we were talking about it. And YJ said, somebody asked Los to engage in this because he wouldn't do this. He wouldn't do this. And I mean, it was entertaining. And
they have an event coming up. They have an event coming up, and so it was. That's what the temperature of it. Like that's what it was. Like for me, entertaining that it brought some energy towards the Facebook group, and that's fine. You know what I'm saying? Like I love helping out with that. But yeah, apart from that, I would have never done that.
Right. Now you had said that some of these guys were mentioning that maybe you thought that you're better than them, right? And
as far as like me, like my status and stuff, right? Yeah.
Now, but I've found myself over the years defending you, and we've never had this conversation before. But I've found myself defending you to maybe just battle rap fans, other battle rappers, or other people from the city that maybe we both know, and they're like, yeah, you know, Loso's a great rapper, but he's too full of himself, he's too prideful, too this or that. And I was curious what you might think that is. Like, why do people think that? I have my own theories.
Yeah. I think whenever you're doing something at a high level, you know, and you have to communicate a certain way on stage and stuff, but I've never had someone who has been close to me, who has been working alongside me and has had those sentiments. What I have had is people who've had that presupposition then get to know me and then recant that statement and say, damn, I thought you were like this.
Right.
But yada, 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 yada.
And that's what I always say. Like, I've known you since I'm 14, 15 years old. You've never been anything but humble, kind, gracious with your time, gracious with your advice. Like, we've done song, like, we did a song together when I was 15.
Yeah.
You shouldn't have done that song. But I appreciated that you did. You know what I mean? Like, you've always been gracious. And so my theories on that, apart from what you just said in terms of status, is, you know, you've spent a lot of time here in Tampa. You put on for Tampa, but you're also a New Yorker. Yeah. And the New York personality is very big. It's very confident. It's braggadocious, and there's nothing wrong with that. Yeah. That's just kind of what it is. And if people aren't used to that type of personality, they might have that presupposition.
Yeah. And I will definitely agree to the point. Like, I probably have a I don't want to say characteristic, but maybe like an aura about me where I do walk into the room and maybe indirectly demand attention or something like that. But bro, like even recently, like I've went out, and before, you know, my whole whatever career, even prior to battle rap, like I'd never like been in the city, right? I never went out, like I never linked up with DJs or anything like that. Since 2022, I've been doing that. And so a lot of people who have just met me through just being outside have said, yo, when I go on your Instagram and I watch you battle and I watch you do this and I watch you do that, I would expect you to be kind of standoffish and be in the corner and be like, but bro, I talk to everyone, and I even carry myself like I'm not that. I don't walk around like I'm Loso and I need to get into this place for free and I need to do that for free. I don't do that because I love just being amongst my boys and amongst everyone else. You know what I'm saying? And if you want to support me, cool. You know what I'm saying? That's dope. And this is my city, bro. I don't want to just be like, I don't like the idea of walking around here like I need some sort of special treatment. You know what I'm saying? When I go to other cities, I do get that. You know what I'm saying? I do get that. And I mean, you know, when I walk through the airport, I get that. Or if I go here, if I go there. But in my city, I like being able to go to this sports bar, like being able to go to this sporting event or whatever it is, and just be amongst the people and just having a good time. So
And I mean, that's the thing, bro. It's like, as long as I've known you, you've always been that guy.
Yeah.
Before the fame, before people recognized you, it didn't matter what room that you went in, even if you didn't know anybody. Like you were so kind and gracious to everybody, right? And that's the thing. Like, I remember coming into Trinity, coming into Trinity, and I think you were in your senior year, my freshman year.
Okay.
And you know, it's a brand new class, however, maybe 100 new people, and you know, you could have been, you know, how schools are set up, right? The seniors are kind of just like, hey, you know, children, stay away from me, right? You were welcoming to everybody. Everybody, like, you were just so kind to everybody, and I always thought that was something dope about you. You have this thing about your personality that I've noticed. Like, if you're having a conversation with somebody, you have a way to make them feel like they're the only person in the world that matters to you. And I think that's so dope, and that's something that I've tried to emulate in my relationships, and even outside of my relationships. If I'm just meeting somebody for the first time, I want them to know that I care about them and I value what they're saying to me, and you know, let's get to know each other, and that comes from you. And I think I've always thought that was something so dope about you.
Just try to, you know, whatever you do, whether you're, you know, doing podcasts, you're doing music, film, I mean, you want to treat you know, celebrities like regular people, and regular people like celebrities, you know, and that's how you're going to cultivate genuine relationships and stuff. Treat like the, you know, quote unquote, the regular ones, like, go overboard for them and let them know that they do mean a lot, and they are valued, and you do value their time. You know, even if if he only has like 2,000 followers, like, when you're sitting down with him, make like you are treating him as if this is Usher after the Super Bowl, sitting here. And then vice versa, you know, you don't want to overly praise anyone that is at that level. You know, you treat them like, hey, you know, they're a regular person. How you been? You know, yada yada yada, stuff like that. And I think that's helped me out a long way. I mean, you know, like you said, I mean, I have no problem doing any podcast. Like, you hit me up, I'm just like, yeah, of course, we're boys. And at the same time, you know, I'm getting DMs from Joe Budden, or getting a battle hosted by Drake and stuff like that. And it's not like I'm publicizing that or bragging about that. Like, I love those opportunities. But I know that those are fleeting, and you know, they're here today and gone tomorrow. Genuine, you know, relationships, and who knows, you know what I'm saying, 5 years from now you could be Joe Budden, and you know, you're gonna remember how I treated you at this moment. You're gonna remember this and say, okay, but you're also gonna remember the guys who left you on red and dubbed you, you know what I'm saying? And so people just don't ever know, you know what I'm saying? So, and that's not the main motive. I'm just saying, that could be, but just being a genuine good person just goes a long way.
Does that come from your family, or does that come from the faith? Maybe a combination of the two.
Maybe a combination of the two, but also I just think, like, I mean, you know, as you just get older, just experience, you know, and just learning, you know, how people have treated you, and what you don't want to feel. So I guess it does kind of pull from the faith, right? Like the golden rule: you treat others how you want to be treated. So you know, easy.
So back to battle rap. When you started your first public battle, so Enter the Dungeon, First Problems, how did you feel going into that? Because you knew you were ready.
It was just a bucket list thing for me, though. I didn't have any plans on making it a career. It was just to scratch off a bucket list. So I went in there super confident. I mean, that's how I just felt. I just felt like I was above, at the time, the rookies that were there. And so, but like I said, because it was a bucket list thing, I also thought to myself, I'm out of this after this, you know. I'm gonna just go ahead and win this money, win this battle, and then kind of get out of it. But the ripple effects of that battle were so it was so evident that I was like, man, I can't stop, so I have to do it again.
You got addicted to it, really.
Yeah.
But I can't see a Great American Cookie the same after that.
Shout out my boy Problems, man. Yeah.
I forget exactly what the bar was, but every time I look at it, I just kind of have to laugh to myself.
Yeah.
But you've done so many battles, and this was a conversation I was having with somebody recently. You've battled top of the top, right? You're at that upper echelon level. So side A to this is 6 years in, and that's crazy. Side B to that is, you know, you're battling the top dudes one week, and then the next week you might battle somebody I've never heard of before. And this is no slight to them.
Yeah.
There's no insults to anybody. Is that you getting in reps, or is that what is that? Why do you take those cards?
Because I'm the top dude to some people out there too.
Yeah.
So the same way like I get up to battle Arsenal, there's a guy out in Utah right now that wants to battle Loso. You know what I'm saying? And it means a lot. Now, granted, don't get me wrong. Like I'm getting it's dope traveling and you get money too. But there's a certain fan base of battle rap that doesn't get to travel to the big URL events and can't make it to there and can't see you perform live. So they want to see you perform. And if they see you on the card, they're gonna come out. And so you give them those opportunities and stuff. So it's a combination. Obviously, it is work, and you love, and I do love the sports. I love battling, but on the flip side, I don't always have to battle a name because I believe I am a name as well. And so I am the name. I am the name on certain cards, and I am the name on certain matchups. So when you see Loso versus, you could look at it like, Loso ain't really battling nobody. Yeah. Or you could look at it as like, oh, he's battling Loso. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So that's how I kind of market it.
One of my favorite things about battle rap that makes me laugh the most is when a simple line causes the crowd to erupt. Are you ever on stage and your opponent says whatever line and you're like, why did that line hit? The first one that comes to mind, and it comes from a great battler, Scotty. He says something, I'm trying to remember verbatim what it was, but it was something along the lines of, you're in Houston now, so say that bullshit for the rodeo. What was it? John, that's your homie though.
Yeah.
But that, I thought it was a cool line. It was fine, but the crowd erupted.
He was home.
Yeah,
that's what it was. He was just home, and so sometimes it happens like that. You could be home, and that crowd is gonna root for you and stuff. But other times, there's certain battlers that just have a certain star power that they get away with, mediocre lines. Other times, I don't know what it is that just happens. But for the most part, I do think that people are gonna gravitate towards creative lines. But yeah, there's times where certain things fly and you're just like, all right, get out of here, bro.
What's been your favorite battle?
Man, to this day, I think the B-Dot battle, Loso versus B-Dot, because that was the first time that I looked across the stage and I said, oh, he could do everything I could do. Yeah. That was probably the first time that happened. Before, I always felt like there was something that I had the upper hand on my opponent about, whether it was delivery, whether it was content, whether it was punches, whether it was whatever it is, or even my status. But that was the first time where I saw somebody look like a Swiss Army knife, just like I kind of categorized myself. Oh, I could do a lot of different things. He could do a lot of different things. And so it was like a chess match, and it was real dope. It was like a big storyline and stuff. So to this day, that's probably still the best one.
I mean, I remember when that card got announced, I was super excited about that. But when I look at your resume, probably my favorite battle of yours, it might surprise you, but it's the one with XL.
Fire. That was a dope one.
That was early too.
Yeah.
That was early. Like you had this line, what they really want, why you in the DMX. Like,
yeah.
When you said that, like I felt like my mind exploded.
Yeah.
I just thought that was a crazy line, and that was one of those many times at this point. But when the crowd erupted to that line, I was like, he's going next level.
Yeah.
Easily going next level.
Yeah.
Because that was fourth battle, maybe. Fifth?
Yeah, man. That was my fourth one, bro. That was my fourth one, and after that, I mean, but even that battle, that wasn't something that I thought was going to be a big deal, but John kind of had a vision for that, and so, I followed along, and XL did a great job. He made it a good battle, and that was actually a perfect storm. Although I did really good, the fact that he was doing well as well made that battle, like, rewatchable. Yeah. And so, but yeah, I agree. That was a good one.
That was a great one, and I just wonder what's next for Loso.
Yeah.
You've made this all-star list. What'd you say, 4 times?
Yeah.
You battle, you continue to win, and I just wonder. I know you said you're acting, which the fact that we haven't done something together is crazy.
Yeah.
You were supposed to do a dream.
I was.
And your schedule just got a little too hectic.
Yeah.
But I'm working on something I'm shooting this summer. I might have to pull you in. I might have to pull you in as comedy. I think you'd be dope for it. Dope. But what's next? Is Wild and Out next? That seems like
Bro,
the
everyone
natural
always
step.
says that. I don't know. You know, like I mean, I am like I said, I'm always constantly creating. There is a within battle rap, I did get selected for an upcoming like, and this is exclusive information, but like a TV show where 16 battlers, and it's in, this is like super exclusive, but it's in conjunction with 50 Cent, and so
That's
I
dope.
did get chosen, and so we'll see. Hopefully somebody picks it up. I don't know where it's gonna land or whatnot, but hopefully, you know, but stuff like that I like doing, and then
Yeah.
but that's obviously still with the battle rap, but hopefully, you know, hopefully yes, I'm acting, hopefully, you know, whatever it is, I don't know,
Yeah.
but I want to make sure that whatever, like for me, whatever opportunities come my way, I take full advantage of it when I do get the opportunity. So
Your creative brain doing so many different things. We're very similar in that. Um, is there a switch in between two things, because it's kind of different parts of your brain sometimes, right? So
yeah.
like when you're writing when you're writing a round for a battle versus when you're writing something, you know, for some spoken word, like
Yeah.
what's the, do you have different approaches with those
Nah,
things?
I
No.
don't. I don't think so. I think that is still. I mean, I know the task at hand.
Right.
It is different elements, but like right now, like I go to University of Delaware next week, and I am my next gig is to perform in front of them. You know,
Mhm.
spoken word, and so it's a bunch of college students, and so the demographic might be different, the age might be different and stuff. Definitely demographic or whatnot,
Yeah.
but I mean, you'll probably find a lot more like, you know, college, you know, women at those events rather than me being in front of a bunch of 30-year-old and up men at the battle rap, you
Right.
know. But I'm just a performer, and I
Mhm.
kind of just when the lights cut on and the cameras are on, I kind of live up for that. So
Yeah.
no, I think, you know, it's just, there's probably just a switch like direction.
Mhm.
Okay, cool. I'm doing this, but the same goal is still, I still want to be excellent in whatever I do. So
Yeah, and that's always been something. I remember all of us having those conversations, and that, as a kid, when you were pouring into me, or Chance was pouring into me, anybody that was like, whatever you do, do it in excellence. We're called to do that,
yeah,
and I don't think that has to only be for, you know, people with the Christian faith. As is
yeah,
any time anybody's setting out to do something, whether that's stocking shelves at Publix,
yeah,
do it in excellence. Be
yeah,
proud of what it is that you do, you
yeah.
know, because I just think it's important to do that.
Facts.
You know, when I set out to do a dream, you know, I did it in excellence, but there's only up from there,
Of
right?
course.
I did it
Yeah.
to the best of my ability. We had a $500 budget. We made a feature film, $500, and that's super dope. But then we elevate, right? I did that to the best of my ability. The next movie I did was a movie called Divine Tragedy. We went from $500 to $5,000, and that one went and did a festival run. We won some festivals, and now we're working on the third film. So I went off on a tangent there. My bad. I had
Yeah,
a
no, you're
question
good.
for you with the with the spoken word. Sometimes I feel like when you're writing, you're writing for the show. Like, you know what you want the lights to do. Like
Yeah.
that Easter piece that you did.
Yeah, yeah,
Like
yeah.
that light show
Yeah.
was insane, and
Yeah.
that wasn't necessarily an early one because you had been doing
Yeah.
spoken word for a while, but since then, do you kind of write for what the performance could be as well?
Always. Every time I perform or I write, I always think about the emotions that I want to kind of like garner with the fan base. You know, I want them to leave with, man, this, you know, that when you hit this climax right here, this peak in this performance, like it just, you know, it was goosebumps or it tugged in my heart, whatever it is.
Right.
Whether that's battle rap, whether that's spoken word, whether that's, you know, me rapping live with you know, with a live band or something like that. I wanted to make sure that something they leave there just remembering like when he got on stage, it was just different than what, you know, what we were seeing all night. And so but yeah, I definitely do that. Whenever I'm writing, I'm writing with a performative
Yeah.
mindset in hand.
And in kind of how you've elevated the live performance, whether it's concert or spoken word, you've done that with your music videos too. Like I don't know if it was the last one you did, but the one that you shot in
Colombia.
Like that was next level.
Yeah. Both the last two that I did in Colombia, I think I did those so that you could show them behind any music video in the world. Like you can play a Kendrick Lamar music video and then you can play mine right after. You know what I'm saying? Now if you like that song better, that's fine. But I'm talking about the quality of the video and the storyline and stuff. Yeah. You could place them right behind each other. And the only difference is obviously his budget's 10 times higher than mine, but that's it.
So the videos that was in, you had that concept in mind as you wrote?
Yeah. Yeah.
I always love to, even if I don't intend to actually have a music video for.
Well, the concept I had, so when I did Till I'm Home with my father, that was the concept. Right. The boxing one that I did, no, I met with a team and we kind of went over some ideas and they kind of went along with that one. But yeah.
Yeah, I always try to write with a video in mind, even if I don't intend. Yeah. To do it, because I think it makes the storytelling aspects of the songs better.
Always, yeah. Adding a visual, I just think is just artistically. To this day, if you talk to somebody who's on TikTok, they would tell you, if you see an artist that's like getting big off TikTok, they would communicate, which is fine. Yeah. They would communicate to you like, yo, music videos are waste of money. Which they're probably telling the truth, right?
Heard Nick D say that 1,000 times.
Yeah, like, yo, music video, he said it? Yeah, music videos are a waste of money because you're like, yo, I'm getting 1 million plus views on me just standing in front of my mic in front of my house, right? With my iPhone that's filming me. That's fine.
I will say, he did say, only do a music video if the song calls for it. Not every song calls for it. He said a lot of times people are just doing a video for whatever song.
But here's the thing, my pushback would be, yeah, what's the goal? You know, like if success on every song is the goal and that's the only reason why you're doing the music, that's fine. Nick D's also a guy who, and that's my friend. Yeah. He is he's not a performer. You know, he doesn't really do a lot of shows. He doesn't do music video, you know what I'm saying? Because he's I don't know, he kind of comes off as an introvert, and so, but when you have somebody who is expressive with their art, they're going to be making art for the sake of making art, for making good art. And so the music video is part of that art, whether or not that music video gets 3,000 views or 1 million views. I mean, that's the point of it. It's a package, you know what I'm saying? And they are fulfilled and content by creating that package. That package isn't complete until all parts are in it. So I do hear people say that. I do hear artists say that, and they're probably doing it from just like an economic mindset or just like what's most effective in 2024 on the internet. That's fine. But when you're just talking about artistry, I mean, me personally, I just love visuals, bro. And I think certain visuals bring the song alive more than others. So
I've heard Nick say this. I'm a big fan of his, and I think he's really kind of he's found a good wave of using social media to your benefit in terms of growing your fan base, growing your bank account, whatever it is. I've heard him say this, and this is his artistic opinion when it comes to songwriting. And I find it not to be true for me, but I'm curious if it's true for you. Yeah. He had said on his podcast that if he sits down to write a song and he maybe gets a verse out and he can't get anything past that song goes in the trash. If he can't finish it in one sitting, then that song's done. It's not good enough for him. Yeah. How do you feel about that?
Nah, I mean, he's probably just that talented where he can, you know, if he can't get a song out that day, then, you know, he's just like, I bet. But I mean, you know, Kanye West said that he was working on All of the Lights for what, 5-6 years, right? And when he put the song out, he still felt like the song wasn't finished. And that song's one of the greatest songs of all time. You know what I'm saying? I think that, I mean, for me personally, like, it takes a while, you know, for certain people, and maybe there might be certain things that you were going through where you were starting the song at one point, but then, you know, a couple months later you went through this, and now this song is taking a totally different new direction. Same concept though, same beat, and you know that there's something there. Move forward. It just takes time, you know what I'm saying? Michael Jackson says, like, yo, you don't write hooks to a song. You uncover the hooks to songs. So when you hear the beat,
Yeah.
He's like, you're not writing the, he said, like, you weren't writing the chorus or the melody to the song. You just have to find it. It's already in the beat. It's already in the beat, bro. Right. It's already there. There's a song that needs to be communicated through this instrumental. Your job as the artist is to uncover it. And so and it might take more than one day. So
right. So are you creating? Are there new? Is there any albums coming out? You dropping singles? I'm ready for a new Loso album.
Yeah,
it's been a minute.
Yeah, the only thing that stops me, bro, is just time. So that's why I just try to put out singles. But hopefully soon.
We do live in a single-driven industry right now. Yeah. So that's fair. Yeah. But I maybe it's just the old school in me. Like I love just listening to an album, front to back. And that's like when Benny just dropped his new album. I listened to that album from the intro to the outro 3 times in a row in one sitting, and I love doing that. So I want a Loso album, so I can do that.
And that's the artistry in you too. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, like you ask somebody who's in the TikTok and the Instagram reel type of phase, and they're gonna say like, "Yo, let's just go ahead and just pump out singles here, boom, boom, boom," and then kind of move forward. And then when you cultivate enough fan base, cool, I'll give them the album if it calls for, like what Nick D would say. But some people's like, nah, I'd rather just put together a body work to put together a body work. And so hopefully soon, man, we'll see.
I can imagine how crazy this story it can be for you when you do an album, because like watching that music video, I know whenever the time comes that you're going to cultivate a story that's just going to be seamless from the first track to the last track. Kind of like how we always used to big up the Wake Up album. Yeah. That was seamless. Yeah. And I can see you doing something just as seamless as that.
Yeah, dope.
Yeah, man. So I think that this has been an amazing sit down with you. I appreciate you joining. And is there anything that you want to say? Let them know where to find you, anything like that?
No, man. Well, to everybody watching, man, hopefully you guys are encouraged by this. My final closing remarks would just be, if you're an artist, one of the biggest things for me is that you don't let your art, you don't let the success around your art define you. Success is not a number. It is just faithfulness. And you being faithful to the call that is upon you, man, go ahead and kill it. Never let the light that's on you shine brighter than the light that's in you. And that's it. And so, Loso, man, you can find me everything Loso on Instagram, everything Loso on Twitter, or go to my website at everythingloso.com, man. Yes, sir.
Appreciate you, Doc.
Always, man. It's love.
All love, Doc.